There's more to being a Buffalo Bills fan than breaking tables. Welcome to the More Than Breaking Tables podcast, a show about what really makes up the greatest fan base in the NFL. We're talking football with experts and fans from around the country. Here's your host and proud member of Bills Mafia, Connor Kobus.
Hello and welcome to another Tuesday night episode of More Than Breaking Tables, a wintry wonderland game against Cincinnati. We are going to break it all down for you. Joined, as always, my partner Pasquale and a fan favorite of the show, TJ. TJ, thanks for showing up again.
Thanks for having me back, fellas.
As I had mentioned, my two partners on the show today went to the game. I watched from home, a classic Bills snow game. Are we glad the new stadium is going to be an open-air stadium instead of a dome?
You want to go first, Pasquale?
Oh, you can go first. You're the guest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was joking around with a friend of mine. We're going to be up in the upper deck in the new stadium, and we just said, as much as we enjoy it, we're kind of looking forward to being covered a little bit as we get older. But, I mean, it's what Buffalo football is, right? I mean, December, the Bills play well in December. Everybody likes a snow globe type of game. It was nice that it wasn't super cold, and the wind wasn't too bad. But, you know, I'm looking forward to getting up to the nosebleeds a little bit, too, in the new stadium. But I enjoyed myself Sunday.
Pasquale, how did you do with the elements?
I'm not one of those folks that don't have season tickets that think that I should have a voice and say that it should be a dome stadium.
Yeah.
Because you'll get more events, but not thinking that we don't have enough hotel rooms to get bigger events. I'm a big fan of the open air stadium. I had no problem with it. No problem with the weather on Sunday. I was colder in Pittsburgh the week before because of the wind, but it really was a pleasant day. You just got to know how to prepare for these games, and then you're good to go. So if you're complaining about it, just shut up and move on with your life.
Exactly. It was great to watch on the TV. I mean, I was watching at a friend's house. The snow games are great. It is that Buffalo Bills advantage we have in December when under the McDermott era, the Bills had played a lot better. As we get into that Bengals game, watching the first half, it gave me PTSD of the divisional game from 3 years ago. The Bengals scored a touchdown on each of their opening drives. We couldn't really stop them. What really got us going was that fourth down play that Josh threw only Josh Allen could throw pass to Shakir for the touchdown. As the game started, what was your initial vibes going into it?
2022 all over again. Just as you mentioned, Connor, just the playoff game, just the atmosphere, just the way they went down, they scored, they win the coin toss, they wanted the ball first, which was the topic even before the game. If the Bills win the coin toss, you want the ball to kind of have Cincinnati score right after you and try and be ahead of them when it comes to the points, obviously. But I had the same vibe of just the playoffs and whatnot. And up until about 3:15 in the afternoon before, Benford made that pick, I think we were all in the same boat saying, uh-oh, we're probably going to lose. And thankfully we didn't.
Yeah, things did not start out well. Couldn't get them off the field. Ty Johnson slipping and falling like he was on the slip and slide in the summer. Didn't help matters that much either. Just a general malaise over the stadium as the Bengals went downfield and pretty much dominated the first half of that football game. And I'm going to mention it again like TJ and you did, Connor, back in 2022. Similar situation with the Bengals playoff game.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely think just like we've had a lot this year, we go into the half down. McDermott, there's something about his halftime adjustments. He's doing a lot better job second half defense against the opponents when we're going in there after having a bad first half. But this was a vintage Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow kind of game. Two elite quarterbacks, both playing elite football. The Bengals were fighting for their playoff lives. While they're not mathematically eliminated, we essentially ended their season, which kind of felt good after they knocked us out of the playoffs. Am I right?
Yeah, and I think one of the two biggest things, too, as you mentioned and just alluded to, Connor, is that you look at the second half adjustments from McDermott. It goes all the way back to the Atlanta game. I mean, we all know how bad of a game that was, but how they played from the first half to the second half. And you look at, 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, what McDermott is able to do with Babich from first to second half adjustments, it's kind of remarkable. But considering how many players are down on the defensive side of the ball, too, with Hoyt, Oliver, Bosa, I think that's another turning point. In the past couple of games. But then also going into Sunday, the one thing that I kind of noticed and was talked about throughout the rest of the week is that how the Cincinnati Bengals defense are so bad covering tight ends. and all 3 tight ends made plays throughout the game on Sunday, especially Dawson Knox. Well, 9 catches, I think it was, off the top of my head. And then, Kincaid gets a couple, and then Jackson Hawes with his, touchdown catch at the end of the game, which we all will remember for a very, very long time, I think. But I think those are the 2 biggest sticking points. Speaking of McDermott and his adjustments and just all the criticism Brady has gotten in the past couple of weeks. He maybe called, I don't want to say one of his better games, but just some of the plays obviously worked out in his favor maybe. I mean, Josh using his legs too, but I think those are the 2 sticking points for Sunday in my mind a little bit too.
Yeah, a lot of people like to talk about the lack of receiver production that we've had this year, but a strength of our team has been the tight ends, along with James Cook. A little on the negative side for James Cook, 2 issues with the fumbles. I know that's something we cannot have. The one going into the end zone was terrible. Pasquale, you were pretty adamant about James Cook earlier in the year. What are your thoughts about him moving forward?
Yeah, if you two were at a bar and you were talking about how great Sean McDermott's halftime adjustments were, you would have some drunk asshole run up to you and say, well, if you would just get them prepared in the first place, you wouldn't have to make halftime adjustments. And then you ask that asshole who you want to replace Sean McDermott as head coach, and they have no answer for you, and then they walk away. Yeah, James Cook, a couple more boneheaded mistakes. He's a primetime player now. He's getting paid the big money to be a starting running back for the Buffalo Bills. Can't have these mistakes. I believe it was the Big O, Jerry Ostrowski, was talking about the mistakes that he's making, maybe because he's getting so much playing time this year because he is a featured running back, as they say. So I'm not sure if that has a lot to do with it. I will listen to Jerry O's opinion over my own opinion. Very good point that he makes, but can't have it. You got these close games. That whole situation with the fumble in the end zone could have gone either way. We saw some bad calls as per usual this weekend in the world of the National Football League. Inexcusable. Once again, he's making that kind of money, and he's now a featured running back on the Buffalo Bills football team.
Yeah, and he's having a great season outside of the recent fumbles. But I'm just one person. When it comes to goal-to-goal situations, that's when I want to see a change of pace like Ty Johnson or Ray Davis to kind of smash it in there. TJ, what are your thoughts on James Cook's usage in the offense as we get ready for this stretch run?
I mean, Pasquale mentioned you're being paid the big bucks. You need to perform. You can't have the costly fumbles. But the one thing I wanted to say, and you just said it, Connor, is that I wish, I would have used Ray Davis in the goal line maybe a little bit too.
Yeah.
Especially after Coleman caught the ball in the third quarter before the Cook fumble. But I want to see more usage between the 3 backs. I mean, that's why we have them, right? Running the ball, not just out of the backfield with the screen passes to Ty Johnson or whatnot. But Ray Davis had a great game against Pittsburgh. And I know you game plan every game differently depending on the team that you play. But I probably would have used Ray Davis a little more, especially considering the field conditions, like Pasquale alluded to as well, with Ty Johnson slipping in the first quarter, which could have been a touchdown. I would just try and use the 3 of them more to kind of just change it up a little bit on the offensive side of the ball too, and keep the defense is guessing a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about the win that set the Bills to 9-4. The Benford play, let's just talk about it. He mentioned right spot, right time. Joe Burrow has never turned the ball over against the Bills. I remember watching that possession thinking, let's hold them to a field goal and try to win this at the end by draining the clock. But that play totally flipped the game around. Christian Benford, the last couple of weeks, big game against Pittsburgh with the interception and the fumble return for a touchdown. The best ability is availability, and if he stays healthy, he can be a big defensive stand for this team going down into the playoffs.
Yeah, I still don't believe that was real. Watching the highlights, I'm not kidding.
Joe Burrow kind of like.
I was sitting next to him too, so I can attest. I was sitting next to Pasquale during the game, so I can attest.
It was surreal. I remember I'd watch it on TV, and I'm just like, oh my god, and like just like that, football is a game of momentum, and it was like once we scored that touchdown, everything changed, and then we get another pick right after it, so it's like everything started to go the Bills' way, and we were able to hold on.
Yeah, I was watching it yesterday on Instagram, like on a reel, and like I don't know how this happened. And during the game, TJ, we weren't together for the whole game, but I was in a pretty much different mental state, thanks to about 400 milligrams of caffeine clashing with a few cans of High Noon, a spiked hot chocolate with some Fireball in there. So I wasn't sure what was going on at that point. I was just very happy when I saw the end result, and that was really, as you mentioned, you both mentioned, that was the tide shifter of the game.
I think the other thing too. No, sorry, Connor. I think the other thing too is that now I've heard like, oh, it was a shitty throw by Burrow. You like shot put the throw. It doesn't matter. He still made the play. You get pressure. Yeah. That's the point of a corner blitz. That's all. Right. I think that's the biggest thing that pissed me off too. Hearing from, well, he shot put the throw. It was a shitty throw. It doesn't fucking matter. Excuse my friend. It does not matter. The throw happened. It was a pick six. You move on. You try and erase what the hell happened. And what happened? Jordan Phillips gets his big paw up there. Epinesa gets the pick, and that's the game. That's why you play 4 quarters, 60 minutes. And I mean, the Bills play well in the second half, as we talked about a couple minutes ago. It's just it is what it is. And the fact, I think you get the monkey off the back now that Allen now beat Burrow on top of Lamar and Mahomes all in the same year, and you also just beat them in general for the psyche of the team. Hopefully,
yeah, I think
that's huge. And just morale.
I was looking at regular season wins in the McDermott era, and I would put that as a top 3 or 4 regular season win. This Bengals win.
It's funny because we have done it on this program as well, criticizing Brandon Beane for just bringing in the same players over and over again. But you're talking about Jordan Phillips making a big play, Jordan Poyer out there making plays, being a regular safety out there. And, these moves are working out pretty well. I want to talk a little bit about Darius Slay once we get through the recap of the Bengals game. But, Jordan Phillips, you got to give credit where credit is due, making a big play like that and really helping shift the tide of the game.
Absolutely. And I think one thing that was great about this Bills team in the fourth quarter, when the Bengals went up 28-18, there was no quitting the Bills. There was still 7 minutes, 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. When you have Josh Allen, I know watching the game, I said, we got to get a quick score, and then hopefully we can hold them to a field goal to get the ball back. Talk about what seemed like the parting of the Red Sea for Josh Allen's 40-yard touchdown run. I mean, there was nobody there. The receivers blocked downfield, and I'm sure the stadium was electric when that happened.
Yeah, we're going to look back, and that is going to be one of those moments we're going to look back on and, really appreciate what we had in this window with Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, people say he puts the team on his back and does what he needs to do, and we definitely need to give him as much help as possible in this final stretch run in the playoffs, both on defense and skill positions. But we know you have that ace in the hole with Josh Allen that can do those types of plays that many can't.
The other point I wanted to make, too, is that it was either during the post-game press conference or it was said on yesterday, is that Deion Dawkins said that Edwards, at the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped, he yelled out, "Blitzer, blitzer." So Deion Dawkins adjusted who he was going to block. And I guess if he didn't pick up the one rusher, I don't know if it was the D-end or whoever, then maybe that play doesn't happen because it created the space for Josh to escape the pocket and go for the touchdown and, go for the run. So I think I want to say it was on Sunday, but maybe it was Monday. But they said if David Edwards didn't say that out loud to Dawkins, then maybe that play doesn't actually happen because he doesn't pick up the right player for the personnel package that the Bengals are using for that play.
And that's smart football. That's a smart football team doing smart things on the smart football field at the Mark and Orchard Park.
Right, and I hope too. Just speaking of the offensive line, real fast. Sorry, Connor. I hope Spencer Brown plays on Sunday because even though Vandermark played well last Sunday against Pittsburgh, he definitely struggled a little bit more. He had a costly penalty later in the game, but I'm hoping Spencer Brown gets back in the lineup on Sunday to help going into New England on Sunday as well, just as a side note.
Great come-from-behind victory, as we talked about, against the Bengals. Before we transition to the game this week, the rematch against the Patriots, which has a lot on the line, waiver claims in between weeks. After beating the Steelers, the Bills put a waiver claim in for veteran cornerback.
I want to get to something really quick before we transition over to the Slay news.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys agree with me on this one, but it was such a sense of relief getting that win, too, getting over that hurdle. Obviously, you had the DeMar Hamlin game. You had the playoff game that we talked about. And it felt like even though, they only had 4 wins, it was still almost not insurmountable, but it was still a tough challenge. And to see them get through that, I had such a great feeling of relief at the end of that game. Like, we really accomplished something major. Not, once again, not looking at the record, not looking at how the year has gone for them, but I feel like just because what we dealt with this team before, it was really a huge sense of relief, and I felt so good after that game on Sunday.
Yeah, the psyche, I think, is huge. I mean, you made Cincinnati is one-dimensional, okay? And we all know the passing game is how they win. And they had their entire lineup in. T. Higgins, Chase, Gesicki. They had Chase Brown. They had P. Ryan in there. They had everybody in there. New England plays them with Joe Flacco without T. Higgins a couple weeks ago. You know, you have a full offensive lineup. Now, everybody knows about their defense. Yeah, Hendrickson didn't play either, and he's going to be out for the year now for core surgery. But the fact that, you know, as you mentioned, Pasquale, the fact that you beat them, you get that monkey off the back, hopefully. And that, hopefully, is a good morale boost going into the playoffs and going into the next year and, you know, all that. But hopefully this transitions now into the Slay comment that you were going to talk about, Connor, because this whole week probably pissed them off a little bit, considering what transpired over the week going into Sunday's game against Cincinnati.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we good on the Cincinnati game, Pasquale?
I have one more thing to add, but let's talk about Slay first.
Sure. So we're holding him hostage. He didn't want to come to Buffalo after the waiver claim was placed. The 34-year-old veteran who played with the Eagles and won a Super Bowl said he's not a fan of the weather, even though he played in places like Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. How do we think this gets resolved? What are your guys' thoughts? What are your takes?
TJ.
Keep those rights. Let him sit there, okay? Watching Philly last night, I mean, nobody knows what Philly really is. I mean, even though they lost in overtime and Jalen Hurts threw that pick at the end of the game, but keep his rights. Let him sit there. Don't let Philadelphia get a hold of him at all. Just, you know.
Yeah, especially when we have to play him in a couple weeks.
Right, and just listening to McDermott talk earlier in the week when they asked for his opinion after all that chain of events happened, you could tell he was pissed. Tim Grant said it looked like he was seething. If he had one word to describe McDermott, seething. Like, I would be pissed. Like you said, he played in Pittsburgh. He played in Detroit. He's played in Philly. Now, Detroit has a dome, but regardless, you still live in the weather. Like,
yeah, and what was the worst part about it is we made a necessary roster adjustment to make room for him. What's the player the Texans picked up?
Marcus Ingram.
Jamarcus Ingram. We have to let him go. He gets claimed. Oh, wait, Darius Slay doesn't want to play here. So we just got completely screwed, and it makes the whole regime look bad. People are thinking, are Bean and McDermott on the same page? Did you reach out to Drew Rosenhaus, who's a very big agent in the NFL? Like, how did you not know this? So it's just a whole drama situation. And I'll be honest, I saw Darius Slay go on an interview for some PR. I think it's all bullshit. He's trying to save face here when he didn't get his way, and I just ultimately hold on to him and force him into a difficult decision.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want another Vontae Davis situation where he takes the field and quits halfway through the game.
Yeah, we don't need that.
There's been a lot of rumblings out there from other, broadcast journalists and talking heads and NFL pundits about what the real truth is behind the situation. So, yeah, let's hold on to him, let it play out, see what happens. Yeah, and like you mentioned, the whole letting go of Ingram and trying to fill that spot with Slay, and that blew up in their face. So you definitely want to come out on top in this situation, hold on to him, and we'll see whatever happens. The Bills have the leverage here in this situation. So, you got to hold on to him, Vaughn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rules are the rules. Waiver claims are in there for a reason, and we'll see how this all materializes. But Sunday, 1 o'clock. The game did not get flexed, which I'm excited about. I don't like staying up for those night games.
Let's
1 o'clock.
Something really quick before we get
Sure, go ahead. You'll always like to do that. You like to chime in a lot.
I'm going to play audio for you. You should be able to hear this because it's running through the board. Just take a listen to this.
That was obviously a really tough game. Really good team that we just played. Guys made plays tonight. It was cool to see our fans stay in the fourth quarter. So we all learned.
So I don't know if you guys picked up on that during Josh's press conference, just talking about that the fans stayed to the end of the game, making reference to the Ravens game, the first game of the year, where pretty much maybe 30-40% of the stadium was gone during the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at that game. I was one of the people that left.
Me too. How do you feel about those comments? So let's go around the horn here.
Hey, I mean,
go ahead, Connor.
He has a point. It was a night game. I mean, I thought the game was over. I was wrong. He made me a believer.
Yeah, I think after week one, what everybody saw and the way he made his comments after week one, and then maybe I'm wrong here too and whatnot, but they were down 18 in week one, you're down 10 on Sunday, so maybe a little bit, not that the way the game was going, I think everybody expected them to lose on Sunday, but 18 points is 2 possessions as compared to 18 it's a 3 possession game. I mean, that's another way to look at it as well, but. I'm glad everybody stayed. I mean, my buddy and I were talking about it, leaving at a certain time, but we decided to stay till the end of the game. So, I'm not surprised by his comments, and I'm glad everybody kind of stuck around. I'm glad they did not play Mr. Brightside until the end of the game, too. That was another comment or discussion we were having, too, like, do you even play it? I hope they get rid of it, personally.
Well, we were in Pittsburgh last week, and, they're playing Renegade when the Steelers are losing.
Right, and everybody's booing.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Time and a place.
There's a time and a place. Know your time and place. And thankfully, the Bills PR team and the media team did not play it in the fourth quarter until after they won.
So I like the fact that he said that. I've expressed my opinions on this program a number of times where I think too many Bills fans think that they're the greatest fans in the league and the greatest fan base in the league and stuff like that. And, leaving early in a game like that, opening week, again, I'm calling myself out on this whole situation. I left early, commitments the next morning, had to get done. But, I like how he said that. And one thing that really entertained me from that, WGR talk show host Mike Shope was very offended by the fact that Josh was still thinking about that, which I found very entertaining. And actually, Bulldog actually had to talk him down off the ledge and was wondering why Mike was so upset about that comment that Josh was still carrying that around. But I was highly entertained that he did mention that in the post-game show with the smirk on his face as he did. So good for you, Josh.
Yeah, and obviously a very close relationship the City of Buffalo has with Josh. He's our franchise quarterback. We can put the hand up, regular season game, week one, we fucked up, we went home early. We won't let it happen again. Let's just be better. And I think we were, as the fans stayed for the rest of the Cincinnati game.
Yes.
All right, Pasquale, can we please talk about the Patriots game?
I am not telling you what you can.
No, you are. You're driving me back. I really want to talk about the Patriots game.
Yeah, go.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I'm the guest.
Because
I'm the guest.
I'm getting there, and Pasquale's taking me all the back to the Bengals game. All right, we have a rematch. We have a rematch, Pasquale.
Right now.
What are we playing?
No, I said you guys are like Chopin the Bulldog right now.
Yeah,
it's like
Pasquale likes to just chime in and just completely derail the show. He derails the show. I'm the host. I'm taking us to the next topic.
Slow down, kid.
No.
Let's go to the next topic.
I feel like
we are going to go to the next topic. Patriots rematch. If the Patriots win, they clinch the division. A lot is on the line. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Foxborough. The Bills are still mathematically alive for the division. Playoffs are looking like a lock. Must win. I feel very confident going into this rematch in New England. TJ, your thoughts?
I feel a lot more confident going into this than I did maybe a couple weeks ago, but also teams play who they play on their schedule. And you look at the Patriots schedule, I think they're an above-average team. I think Drake May is going to be a good quarterback. But you also play the Tennessee Titans. As I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, too, you played the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Flacco, without T. Higgins. You struggled against them. You struggled against New Orleans in New Orleans. You lost to Pittsburgh. You lost to the Raiders. They lost a couple of players as well compared to Week 5 on the defensive side of the ball, which may help them out on the defensive line. So I'm much more confident going into the game. I know there's supposed to be some expected precipitation on Sunday, as Pasquale likes that word. That's why I said it. But they're expecting some snow, which I think is great. And I'm looking forward to it, very much so.
Yeah, we talked about the Patriots being a good team going into the year. I think great coach, really good quarterback, coupled with an easy schedule. They're 11-2. So it's kind of like been the perfect season for them to be at the top of the AFC, but ultimately they have to go Bills, at the Ravens, Jets, Dolphins, and still 4 games to be played. So I think there's a lot of movement that's still going to happen in the whole playoff picture with 4 weeks left.
And the other thing, too, sorry, Pasquale, I was going to say one more thing. My apologies. So I think the one thing, too, aside from the game on Sunday, if the Bills win, they still have to lose against the Jets or the Dolphins. And that game is in Miami, which we all know and has been talked about on various network shows that historically, as of late, the Dolphins usually have the upper hand against New England in Miami.
No, actually, they already played in Miami.
Oh no. I'm sorry. In New England. I'm sorry.
The Jets
Yes.
games in
Yeah.
New York.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's in New England. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's.
But either way, the Dolphins have been sneaking like 3 or 4 wins together. I mean, we know Pasquale's beef with McDoofus. I mean, he's kind of stringing their team alive, and they're still alive for a playoff berth. So for Bill's sake, we want them to keep winning so they can want to knock off the Patriots.
Right.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that the Bills will get the win on Sunday. I don't think we are going to win the division, but I just don't want the Patriots to clinch it this Sunday.
Yeah, that would be pouring salt in the wound. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially with Diggs and Hollins.
Oh, fuck that.
Marone. No, thank you.
Nope. So we got to take care of our business to even further solidify a playoff berth for us. And who knows? The games still have to be played. We all remember when the Dolphins had a 3-game lead a couple of years ago, and we won it on the last week of the season. So a lot of game to be played. Drake May, one of the MVP candidates right now with how the Patriots are performing. So is Matt Stafford on the Rams. Josh is in the background there. People are like, yeah, his odds are like plus 1,600. If he gets hot the next 4 weeks, do we think he can go back-to-back?
Yeah, if we go on a run here, I mean, we got the Patriots, we got the Browns and the Jets. People are going to frown upon that. But, you got the Patriots, you got the Eagles coming up. He has good performances in both of those games. We were on the table, and I think he's got to be back in that conversation pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, he's going to have another 40 touchdowns, which is great. On pace for more turnovers than last year, which is okay. But, I mean, it's hard to deny him that. But obvious goal is playoff, Super Bowl comes first, and we'll see how that all materializes.
Right. Just get in this year, I feel like. Just get in. The way things have been going, just get in. I mean,
yeah, and there is a lot of added pressure on the Bills if the playoffs hold the way they are, and there is no Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals. I mean, it's a completely different landscape, and we have the most playoff experience. So, let's see how that pans out, but you got to like the Bills' chances.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Wright said it on FS1 today. This was probably the best path for the Bills to get all the way without Mahomes, Burrow, and Jackson in there, as it looks right now. So,
who saw a Nick Wright reference coming in this program? Raise your hand. Okay, I guess you guys are on your own then.
Why? What did you expect, Pasquale, when I'm on?
Got anything from Colin Cowherd too?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't talk about Boomer and Karn so far, so this is a win for Connor and I.
I like Colin Cowherd. I just Nick Wright. I don't even know what network he's on anymore.
Fox.
He's on FS1.
I don't mind watching his show.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I watch, really.
What, channel 750?
I like watching it when the Chiefs consistently lose, because then he kind of just has no shtick anymore. And we'll see.
Not even my radar.
Oh, I thought maybe you got like a reservation with him at Chili's or something, Pasquale. You guys can go hang out and get some fajitas or something, because I know how much you love Chili's.
All right, so here's the deal. I'm thinking we go into Foxborough and win by 2 touchdowns. That's how good I feel about this game. What are we feeling? Do you feel it's going to be a close game?
I don't know actually. I think it'll be closer than expected. I want to see the defense continue to get turnovers, because I think they're plus. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but the amount of turnovers they got the first 6 games doubled from weeks 7 to this week. I think it was a plus. I think they had it was doubled. I think it was. I heard the stat yesterday, but I want to see the defense continue to get turnovers, and then put the Bills in favorable field position to get their points that way, instead of having to have the long drives and bad field position.
Just win, baby.
Just win. And that's going to do it for another episode of More Than Breaking Tables. For TJ Pasquale, I am Connor Kobus. You can follow me at Connor Kobus17 on Instagram. Pasquale, any plugs before we head off the air?
Yeah, I deleted both of my X accounts today for wrestling and for my personal use, so you can get me on Instagram at WNYWrestler, or you can just add me as a friend on Facebook, and you can find out everything I have going on there.
Yeah, John Cena's last match on Saturday. Saturday night main event.
Big week this week.
Big week, fellas. Bills, Patriots. Let's get it. See you next week.
You going to promote something?
Yeah, I'll promote something. So, Game Day Hospitality. If you're looking to go to some away games or some home games.
30 seconds, hurry up.
Game Day Hospitality. Check them out on Instagram. Game Day Hospitality, they do a bunch of tailgates in different cities across the country. Check them out. Go Bills.
They do a great job. Yes, I enjoyed myself the last 2 times I went there.
Check them out. Go Bills.
Go Bills.